Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Silver Diva. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help me out quite a bit. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, all that good stuff. So we're on Rhine Diva, Lucio Mercy. That's going to make your Rhine a bit starved for heals, and it could have a similar effect on you, especially if the Mercy does any pocketing of the Echo. But you have lots of things you can eat. You have Storm Arrows, you have Junkrat spam, you have, people to get hooked by Hog, and you have Halts. So lots of things for you to pay attention to. And we'll be curious if you're doing a good job of eating those, because that's been a thing we've wanted you to work on. We asked Emerald to change that. I thought it was silver. I thought that's what you told me, Game Master. If it's not, I can change it, but... That was... No. Okay. Let's go back and look at that. Good! I'm glad it is silver. So, your Rhine's here, so I'll live with this. I'm not convinced that you guys should be here. By I'm not convinced, I mean you shouldn't be, but it's already happened. Now, if they've wasted Hook, you have full DM. Protect your Reinhardt. Your Reinhardt's trying to pin. Please protect your Reinhardt. You should be DMing. You should still be DMing. You should expect that this group of 6 people are shooting at your Reinhardt, and you could have potentially eaten that, because you'd expect Junkrat spam, you'd expect Orisa shots, you'd expect lots of things that you can eat, and Hook has already come out, so you don't need to, have DM available for that, etc. Now, it's not going to matter. You guys are boned. You're not going to win this, but hey, it stalls a little bit better than what you're doing. Yeah, see, you only have DM'd so far when you are in front of the enemies, and you can DM across this to protect your Reinhardt just fine. Now, you don't want to just randomly do it, but like when you think there's 6 people looking at your Reinhardt, when your Reinhardt's going for a pin and can't put his shield up, it's a good time to shield. I don't really like charging across to get this Junkrat, but the reality is, again, this fight was already over. And the reason I don't like charging across is you're just zooming right across a big shooting the Centaur in the back. Okay.
Routing navigation systems to defense. Mobility increased.
He might have. Yeah, we can go back and look at that. Like, I just am sort of in the this wasn't relevant thing, because I'm sort of in the, hey, you're done, this fight is lost. But you and Ryan did stall out pretty decently. You have this, you hit your micro. No, you don't hit your micro because you don't have it anymore. This is a tracking issue. You lose track of him. You need to deny the mega. You need to make sure that you denied the mega. Yeah, so if we're really being serious about this, I don't necessarily love getting the mega because it means you're feeding more ult charge in what I think is a lost fight, but actually at this point you've stalled long enough that if you take out this Junkrat, you could consider hopping down here to stall for time and then coming back and joining, and when these guys go here, sort of being back in the fight, etc. Because you've stalled for time so long, your respawns are eventually going to get to here, etc. So you could do that. You could definitely take down this Junkrat. If I get more into my micro, that Junkrat has 60 health. This is very eliminatable, and we're not worried about this Junkrat because we have Matrix. We want to keep ourselves between it and the health pack. Okay, we know where the health pack is, so we probably do want to get that. And it was very obvious that our Junkrat was going to want to go for that. And now he's got it and he's mined you away, and you're doomed. Probably could have stayed back on the angle. It would have been tough because you're dealing with the Junkrat, but honestly, like, you have better, more direct shots than Junkrat does. It's not great to try to beat him in here, but you have a chance. It's probably better than running out here. You're never going to make it back over here to your team. That was never going to happen. So fighting in here as bad as it is probably is a little bit better. Or letting these guys go past and then peeking back here and having your cross angle, shooting from your cross angle, etc. Yes, of course, they're pretty quickly going to go, hey, wait a second, and run you over. But if you use distance as your friend, shoot at them, maybe swing over here, shoot at them, etc., you can potentially get your mech, and then you're even better threatening them as a mech from a different angle.
Mobility increased.
I mean, not necessarily. You didn't have to do that. So if we go back, you didn't have to go down to, like, you look at this, your Echo's down. Your Junkrat's down. This fight is over. Your Mercy's down. We're done. This fight isn't happening. You are not winning this fight, and you are unlikely to force eliminations in a 3v6. I would just like you to leave. You could cut out now and go, Reinhardt, I abandon you. It's not happening. And you could just go, I'm going to boost up over here. Then I'm going to walk here, here, here. I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to go back. And I'm going to wait with my team over here and push back in when we have real people, etc. You could do that, or you can try to stay here and help your Rein get out. Those are both fine. But with how this fight is going, now it's sort of now it's like even more time to leave, right? Because like you've stalled some more time, etc. And now if you go down, you're just sort of staggering yourself almost. Like it's not really staggering yourself because they haven't, they're not up to the point, they're not moving the point, moving cart, anything like that. But this isn't great because your team is going to show up and you're not going to be with them. Like you're pretty off cycle. Your teammates have mostly revived now and will start walking back, and in about 10, 11 seconds they'll all be there. And if they take you down, you're going to be totally off cycle with them. So like it'll take you 5 seconds, 6 seconds to get back to point. That lines up decently. You don't want to lose your mech. You don't want to lose your mech at this point anymore. Like it was the, hey, I can stay here to help my Reinhardt get out, but I want to make sure I get out alive type thing, because we're sort of past the window of, oh, we lost people. There was a window right after you lost your 3 people to go, well, let me just instantly try to trade someone for someone. Maybe I don't think I can get out. Let me try to instantly trade for this Junkrat and just hard trade for it, because even if I go down, he'll go down too, and then they'll have less to push with, etc. That's not amazing, but it's an option. And that's sort of what you're doing here, but it's late for that play. You can beat this Junkrat. We talked about how to outplay him on the health pack there. If you beat him, you then get to go. I wait here for them to walk past, and then you push back up into the back of them. You can hop up here if you want. You're threatening from a different angle from your team who's returning. Because, yes, your Reinhardt went down, but if you take down the Junkrat, you're going to, in about 7 seconds, have a 5v5 that you can take. Okay. Yes, meleeing does stop your booster. That wasn't in anywhere but silver it would be. Yeah, I expected him to be hard jumped by everyone. That's where what I expected to happen, and that's what the fly across was so dangerous, etc. I wanted him to just leave. Yes, fall back, exactly.
Bailing out.
Routing navigation systems to defend. Mobility increased.
Got one.
You're down 1, but you're in it. Take your angle. Take your angle. Your angle is up here. Up here is where you do the most work. You're up here. You can DM. You can do that. If you don't like it, you can just back up behind this for a second, wait, and then leave with your next set of boosters. Like, there's no reason for you to be here right now. This is not helpful. Okay. Doesn't have boosters. So you're never going to get ahead shooting at this hog. All this is doing is building ult charge. Okay. So does pressure on their hog do anything? You're never going to get that hog down to a point where he's weak enough, and you can see this as soon as you've done damage to him, that he has plenty of health. You're never going to get him down. You can shoot at the Orisa. The Orisa is much weaker, and is probably who your Junkrat is working on, and you might be able to burst that down or force a fortify or something. But shooting at this hog, when he's full health, not going to do anything for you, and his supports are right here. So, like, shooting at a hog who can get support, all that jazz, like, I just don't expect you to take this hog down in any reasonable amount of time. So, instead, go, hey, let me, I don't know, deal with this Junkrat that's right in my face. That could be a good idea. Maybe I'll throw some DM over him because that's kind of scary. Or maybe I'll shoot at this Mercy because that hurts her only a little bit, but her taking even a little bit of damage stops her auto regen from kicking in. So in case someone else hurts her, me continuing to put pressure on her will slowly work her down, but will also continuously stop her auto regen from ticking in, which is a big deal, makes her very uncomfortable, etc., and is still way more useful than shooting at this hog. So, you know, our options in order are probably, hey, I should DM this Junkrat. I could work on this Orisa that's already low that my Junkrat is trying to work on because I'm above it, have a pretty decent angle, etc. Or I could work on this Mercy. I don't really want this hog, and you don't have an angle to shoot at this Lucio. Hope that makes sense. I fell down by accident. Falling off ledges all the time equals Sarah. And you guys are gonna push. Okay. Yeah, so you're shooting at this hog the whole time, and this hog has a mercy beam attached to him. It's just not happening. Like, shoot at the mercy. If you're gonna be in this deep, shoot at the mercy. If you're out here and the hog is the only one you can see, so be it. But if you're gonna be in this deep, just shoot and turn at the mercy. Like, that's who you want to be on. That said, from a raw priority standpoint, we'll go back a little further. You're down here. That's a shield. Not sure what specifically you're DMing. Orisa shots? Concern of a hog shot? What are we DMing? The Junkrat? Then we sort of boost in this direction. That was your Junkrat, so yeah. And you decide to play over here. And I just don't know, like, the hog is reloading. These are basically just regular shots that you're DMing. You want to be a little more specific with your DM. Like, there are lots of specific things to DM in this group, but those things are halt, storm arrows, Junkrat spam, Junkrat mines, like people who get hooked you want to throw DM over. Like this, however, though, is just sort of like kind of generic that you have DM out here, and I think you have DM out here so you can send your micro missiles, but these micro missiles aren't really on anyone. Like, I think they're going to be on Hog, but again, I don't think you're taking down Hog, and they have sound bear up. You don't want to necessarily be micro missiling while they're sound bear up, because you'll be taking away their temporary health, which was temporary health that was going to go away on its own in a little bit anyways. Why would we do that? Like, unless we actually think we're going to eliminate them through this temporary health, which you're not, we don't want to be spending our micro missiles into their temporary health. The temporary health would, you know, we just make it go away a second faster. That's totally not worth it as a trade. Okay, I prefer you on the Hunter to the Hog. That's good. Reload, then roll.
Stop the payload.
See you, Zara. Good luck in your game. Yeah, random DM. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So we want more focus on what specifically you're DMing. Like, that's going to be critical to actually getting good with D.Va. Like, you can get better than you are with D.Va without it, but to actually get good with D.Va, you've got to really be conscious of your DM usage. Okay. So I don't actually even like shooting at this range because it's slowing down your movement, and your team is in this fight. So, like, I'd prefer you not slow down your getting actually into this fight, if that makes any sense, because you're doing, like, peanuts for damage out here, whereas if you get closer, you'll do more damage sooner, and your team is very much in this fight. You guys aren't poking at the edges anymore, you're in this fight, so go get in this fight. I don't love this, though, because you don't know if he has hook. And if you don't know if he has hook, you boosting here does two things. It means, hey, I can't get out. If he hooks me, I can't turn and boost out, etc. And it also means if he hooks someone else, you can't go, hey, I'm going to pop my DM and immediately boost to try to cover them to protect them. So you want to be aware of his hook status before you use your abilities as D.Va when you're playing into Hog like this, because countering his hooks is a pretty big deal. And you see, he just threw a hook. He didn't hit anyone with it, but he just threw a hook. And if you'd had boosters, you could have immediately, in reaction to hearing that sound, shifted around this corner and DM'd him so that he doesn't get his damage on whoever he hooked there. I predict a Q. Yeah, well, we also could have tried to eat this. I mean, if we're really getting good at our D.Va.
Taking off.
So that's their dragon. We hear their dragon. And we didn't, jet at their Hanzo to try to eat it. We're jetting away. Maybe that's why you jetted. You were trying to get away from the dragon. But remember, you can try to eat those. If you catch the arrow before it turns into a dragon, and it has a little bit of distance before it does it, you can eat it and deny the entirety of the dragon. One teammate. Two teammate. Three teammate. Four teammate. In spawn. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a very good ult to me. What about you? You can't catch the dragon, but you can catch the arrow before it turns into the dragon. That's okay. It just takes practice. DM is hard. Like the actual skill floor, we could say, for D.Va is relatively high because DM usage is part of it, and getting those first few ultites, like getting to the point where ultites aren't just whoops, that was an accident. It's a meaningful challenge.
All systems checked out.
If you get 2 with that and then go for the Hanzo elimination and get it, I'm gonna laugh. Yeah, you're gonna get it. No! Don't get away! Did he just 1v5 and go for 3 and get them? Ladder, why must you do this to me? You make it so hard to coach people to do things right when they get rewarded for this kind of crud. D.Va is one of the heroes I will not play when I flex to tank. Yeah, I get it, Bryce. I agree. D.Va is one of those heroes that people intuitively play wrong, though. Sort of like Brig is one of those heroes that people intuitively play wrong, because it seems like she's a big, heavy frontline brawler mech when really she's all about, hey, let me get above to the side, control the off angle. Hey, let me do this. Hey, it's about my DM usage. Hey, it's about pressure from above the side, etc. Hey, I've got to save my boosters, my DM for this, etc. When she feels like, oh, I'm this big 600-pound mech, and I can shoot people from in front, and I can dive into people to finish them, and those aren't really how she's played. Yes, you can drop behind people to finish them. You can dive at people on high ground to contest them, usually not to actually try to eliminate them, or if so, with help. But her kit isn't what people think it is. Okay, so yes, this is me going back to being sad about going for 3 there. That's okay. Don't go for more. You already got more than you ever deserved. Don't go for more. Where are you gonna finish with these boosters? No. You need to think about your own safety. You just boosted into a 1v3. You needed to have your boosters to be able to leave, or you needed to have your boosters to be able to leave, or you needed to have your boosters to be able to leave. You just finished your boosters in a 1v3 situation on a Mercy that even if you get the elimination, you go down. You don't want to be going, oh, it's okay if I go down because I take down the Mercy. No, remove that from your thinking. That is not okay. You need to know that if you're going to end with somewhere with boosters, you're going to be okay. You're not going to be okay here. It's not going to happen. If you boost up to high ground to challenge someone, you turn around and, your BAP is shooting heal nades in your butt, and that's fine, etc. And then if you get in trouble, you can drop, etc. You can hop in here, etc. That's safe. Your other boosters have been up to high ground type stuff. That's safe. You did the booster against the Junkrat, which I didn't like, but we were calling a feed anyways. But at least you finished in here, which was a little bit away from these guys, etc. Like, you can't go in for your boosters on their backline. This isn't safe unless your whole team is committing, because then you're making it safer territory. Your whole team is not committing here. You can't end your boosters in danger. You can't do it. Spoiler goes for more. Okay. Too early on that DM. He was still reloading. But these boosters at least finished you in a safe spot. I'd like you to take Siege Tank. I really, really hope you're going to go like up here or up over here and work from here. That would make me quite happy. No! This didn't do anything. We put our boosters on cooldown for no reason. We don't want to be here. We know that that hog still doesn't have hook for a few seconds. 1 second. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. We should have just walked here. We literally should have just walked up here, even if it took us out. Like, we don't have to boost to get closer to make our left clicks do more damage. We can just stop left clicking to get rid of the speed debuff from shooting, walk closer, and then go back to shooting. That's what we want to do. And then once the hog uses hook, we might have to boost in to protect someone, etc. Or if he uses hook, then has it off cooldown, then we can boost up to here and pressure from a different angle, etc. Totally worth micro missiles. Totally worth it to micro missile this. Fine. I can live with it. Also fine with me. Why are you boosting at him? What is boosting at him doing? This is fine. You do fine damage from here. You're above him. This is even better. You still do great damage to him. You do great damage to him. You don't want to just boost at him for no reason. Like, maybe you're boosting to try and keep him on this side of your team so that your team can bully him, etc. But, like, he's pretty far from his team already. You don't need to do that. If anything, you might want to have your boosters to boop him away when he hooks someone. So you don't want to use boosters right now. Like, he hooks someone and you could boost and knock him away a bit and protect them. Turn around. They're not really pushing. I mean, this keeps them out, but I don't really like it. And he has hook, doesn't he? Or does he use that again? Yeah, he has hook. You don't really want to throw your mech out when he has hook, because now he has freedom to hook someone. You might not have known it, and he might not have known it, but in better play, you being in your mech was a deterrent from him hooking anyone except you. Because if he hooks anyone except you at this range, the belief that he may or may not have had is that you are going to deny him from getting the damage because you're close enough that you'll just throw your DM over him and whoops, he's wasted his hook in exchange for you spending 1/4 of your DM. As soon as you do this, he's free to hook someone. Now, he might have more important things to do, like dodging the mech, but even so, while you're remeching, he'll have a chance to hook someone. You think he's literally saving hook for next round? Maybe, Bryce. Okay. Get your mega. Okay, I actually would have wanted the shift there, and the reason I'd have wanted the shift there is just in case you're not going to eliminate her, because I don't trust your aim yet. Maybe you do, in which case that's fine. The boop is going to knock her away, and if it knocks her far enough away, which it should, it'll cancel the res, but it'll still be on cooldown. So booping mercies that are resing, generally worth. That said, you got the elimination before she got the res off, so all is well with the world. Stop. Good. Backlining Moira. Yeah. Boop doesn't necessarily cancel it, but her moving out of the range that she can res someone cancels it if it's while she's still resing. So if the boop moves her out of the range, it will cancel it. Okay, so this is too early. I like that you're on the high ground, but you're threatening these guys, and the only person that they can really look at is you, and they have better poke than you. So even though you have the high ground, I don't like that you're threatening them here. I'd prefer you threaten them when they get to here, because then they're like, oh shoot, if we turn to look at you, your team is throwing Junkrat nades into our back. I don't want you doing this, because even though you have high ground advantage, you know, McCree does better poke than you. He does. Way overcommittal on boosters there. Simply walking away did the job. But if you were going to boost, we wanted to hang out more like here-ish, or maybe even more like here-ish.
Join me. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Okay, so we're going in, obviously, because we have 2 people in and our Junkrat just did 3, so now we'll go for this. Retake your high ground. Literally just retake your high ground, and now you can fight from here because your team is actually threatening or pretending to threaten this space, etc. So that makes this usable space again, whereas before it wasn't. So you see how the situation has changed whether you're willing to use this high ground. It's not like this is good or this is bad high ground, and this is good or this is bad high ground. It's the situation has changed in terms of what your team is controlling, what your team is threatening. So many jumps on people that would be so much cleaner limbs with a melee tied in at the end of the booster. I know, Semitic. I know. I thought Ryan was with me, but that was the wrong of me to think. It's crazy how in this elo there's almost. Yeah, I know. There was no cover for it, and it got 3, but that's silver for you. Junkrats are the greatest danger. Junkrats are not the greatest danger. And they're definitely not the greatest danger to you because you're D.Va, so you can make Junkrats very unhappy by, you know, eating all of their mines that they're trying to use to finish people off with that they already hit with a grenade or 2. Don't be here. Don't use boosters either, though. Like, you don't want to stay so long that you have to use boosters, right? Because, like, you were here, you were shooting, you got an extra, 12 damage by staying for that extra half second, and if you'd left half a second ago, you'd have felt perfectly comfortable not using your boosters. I don't know, 12 damage or boosters on cooldown. That's a pretty easy calculation for me. And you didn't like go take high ground with those boosters. Take high ground, you know, I don't even think you can stand there, but you didn't like take high ground with those boosters. You went, oh hey, I'm gonna do this, or take high ground with those boosters. You just went back to here. That's not okay. Your boosters have to be more purposeful than that.
Group up. Group up. Group up with me. Affirmative.
Mm-hmm. Good. And that was fine. You actually could have just drained your DM in his face while your Reinhardt takes him down, and that does 2 things. So if you look at this, got some aim trouble there, but I'm not worried. You do that, then you decide to do this, and you should micro-missile. You should micro-missile. So what this DM is doing is it's doing 2 things. It's preventing him from doing damage, but it's also preventing him from using a mine to get himself out of here. Because he has to use his mines for his mobility, and he can't because you eat the mines as soon as they spawn if you're holding DM over him like this. So it protects you, it protects your Reinhardt, and it protects him from getting away, and you've got about a second, a little more than a second of DM left. I don't know, if you're micro-missiling and your Rein gets a swing off, I'm not convinced he gets out. We're late on our micro-missile here, and we took our DM off of him, and now he's able to mine himself out. You see how that goes? Unfortunate. Why did we drop? Why did we drop here? This was still perfectly valid. We could chill here just fine. The mine didn't knock us, did it?
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
No, you're walking. You're walking. This is fine. You're threatening it. So if they walk through here, they're uncomfortable because they get shot this direction from Junkrat, Moira, Lucio, this direction from you. And if they just try to shoot at you here, you go, yeah, I don't like that. And you just back up behind the boat. It's perfect. We don't need to walk across this. And you know this part, Toby. Like you've been going over your high ground stuff. Your high ground use has been getting better, but now you need to understand the why. And the why is so that you can keep these splits, so that you can pick, so that you can use the high ground as cover, etc. You don't need to rejoin your team here at all. You do not need to be this shield. Just because Reinhardt isn't here doesn't mean you need to be this shield, this frontliner for your tank. You take more damage off of your team by being here and making these guys be distracted about where they want to look, who they want to shoot at, than you do by standing in front of your team and DMing like this. If you do want to protect them, you can just go, hey, I'm here, and I DM like this, and it does the same thing. While still getting you the, hey, which way are they going to look advantage, while still getting you the ability to shoot them in the head, etc. Okay. Yes, x86 guy. I do review pro level games. I haven't done those ones specifically yet. I was doing a tier 3 game earlier today. But yes, I do review pro games. Yeah, but you see how many boosts are you being used, Game Buster, to transition between here and there, here and there, here and there? Like, we could have just stayed here this whole time. And I know you're like, oh, I wanted to get out, but I didn't want you to get out. Why did you want to get out? This is fine. I don't love that you're shooting at the Orisa this whole time. That's not the best use of your abilities. Again, you had a better ability to go, hey, maybe we'll shoot at this Junkrat over here. That's a little more scary. Like, 50 damage on the Junkrat is probably better than 75 damage on the Orisa in terms of how it makes them play safe, how it makes them play in ways that they're contributing less, etc. That's your Junkrat, excuse me. Okay, fine. I guess you can shoot at the Orisa. But I would have preferred you were shooting at the Moira beforehand to help your Junkrat. You don't want to be here. You feel like the choke's at the back. Well, you're wrong. So the truth is you're wrong. This choke here, like this might feel like, oh, it's a choke. Oh, that's good, etc. Chokes are okay, but these types of situations, like this is fine with you guys. If you look at how you're threatening them, if you look at how things were a second ago, your Echo is threatening from here. Your Lucio is threatening from here. You're threatening from here. Your Junkrat was threatening from here. And your Reinhardt was threatening from here. So this is like, and whereas they're all stuck in this general area. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful in terms of it threatens them, it's rough for them, it's hard, etc., etc. They don't know where to look. If they look there, they get shot in the face like that. If they look here, they get shot in the face by this. It gives you and Junkrat access to their backline. You can drop and go chew out their backline while the front line is fighting your front line. But you got access to it, and you're going to win those, etc. Like, you guys have high ground advantage. This is way better than this. Like, this isn't terrible, but if you're set up here, what are you going to get? You're going to get, oh, hey, we have a Reinhardt here, okay, and maybe we'll put our Junkrat here, and our Moira, like, here-ish. Okay, cool. They can wrap around and fight this, and yeah, the choke is a bit of an advantage because our backline has sight on them before they have sight on us, etc., but they've got the ability to go flank like this. Like, this is okay, but there's no need for you to be back here. You can be up here. Like, there's no need for you to be playing back here. It's totally fine for your team to go, hey, like, this is okay, but this is every bit as good, what you guys are doing here. As long as you're controlling this high ground, which you and Junkrat were. As long as you're controlling this high ground, this is every bit as good. I promise. Wasted flash, now you take him down. Why are you DMing? You already got flash out of him. So you're just going to have to learn your individual matchup with every opponent and what you're looking to eat with DM from them. Against McCree, you're looking to eat flash, and if he actually goes for a fan the hammer, you'd consider eating that. He probably won't. He just wasted flash. You just saw and heard him waste flash. So now, you just melt it. There's a point-blank range McCree without flash in your face. You're just going to take him down. You don't need to DM anything else unless he goes for the right click where it goes pew pew pew. You know, he fans the hammer. That's the only thing you'd consider eating. You just are going to trade health with him, and you'll win handily at this range, even without your micro missiles. Nope. Nope. It's not that that's like bad. Like, in a sense, it's okay, nothing happens while you're DMing, which A, buys him time to get back to his flash, which is something that you are worried about, but also it gives him time to maybe change the situation, maybe a friend to show up, etc. Oh boy. Oh boy, don't you dare lose your mech. That makes me sad. So, this is one of those situations of you didn't quite get him, and now his friend is going to show up, and part of that is because you slowed down the fight. You slowed down the fight when there wasn't really a value in doing so, and now you're going to lose your mech to this Junkrat. All good. That was the sound effect. You'll get used to it. So just think about, remember, with each individual opponent, you want to think about what specifically you should be eating when you run into one-on-ones with them.
I'm not a good loser. I'm ready to initiate self-
That ground looks threatening. Yeah.
Sorry.
You're probably gonna have to let them have this. You don't. Okay. No, no, no.
60 seconds
Game Buster.
remaining.
Game Buster. This is the second time. What? No. Fortunately, that one didn't get a 3K. That was a 2v6 scenario that we threw our ult into. Why are we boosting? What is boosting getting us? What is boosting getting us? This is not a better angle than this was. This angle was just fine. We do not need to be over here. Are we wanting to be over here because we're thinking I really want to be able to eat the flash when McCree uses it? Are we thinking I really want to be able to eat the Holt? Like, this was not worth using boosters for. We've used our boosters to effectively accomplish nothing. Was that... This is a hook. This is a hook. We see this hook. No, 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 no. No, no, no. We don't turn away. We keep facing this way, and we throw out our DM. We were looking right there. We just throw out our defense matrix, and we eat the damage that would be meant for our Winston, and that makes us happy. DM isn't super long range like it used to be, but I think that's still going to be pretty doable. So please do that. Now, your Winston's going to be okay because Coalescence is going, but habit-wise, this is what you should be doing. Like, it should be, this is a habit that you want to develop of when things get hooked, I eat them. When things get hooked, I eat them. Like, that should be a habit. That should be something that you build to try to be automatic. This is fine. You were going for staggers. I don't like this boost as much, but I'll live with it. No, 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 no. So, like, I hope you were ready. If that hook had come back with someone on it, I hope you were ready to press that right-click button, because you were looking right at him.
An expedient solution.
Comes up.
Thank you.
But why, though? Why do we want to be here?
Time to raise my APM. I'm ready to initiate. Ready. Nerf this. All systems checked out.
Fine.
I'm back in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on fire.
Duplicating this.
Okay. So the biggest things that we're seeing so far are your booster usage, in terms of you just use boosters willy-nilly for nothing a lot, and that means you're not going to have them sometimes when you do need to relocate, when you do need to go in for a dive, when you do need to boost in to eat something, when you do need to get out. Like you're canceling your boosters early when you get where you want to, and that's good, but your booster usage is willy-nilly right now. Your boosters should be, I'm taking high ground. Your booster should be, I'm going in to save something, I'm going in to eat something, I'm getting out. Or your booster usage can be part of like a coordinated dive to eliminate someone, or like a high ground push to challenge someone that's up there doing work that, it's not perfect, but you're simply going, I have to deny them from doing work for a bit, or my team isn't going to be able to push, isn't going to be able to rotate, etc. You're using way too much booster just for movement to like, I'm going to stay in for an extra second to do another 12 damage and then I'll booster leave, when you could have just walked out. Or I want to get closer to do more damage faster, so I'm boostering in to get right behind my Rhine Shield to do damage, when I could have just stopped shooting and walking there. We need to get rid of those. The other thing is going to be this DM usage still is going to need work, as is some of your understanding of why you have the positioning you do. I'm liking that you're taking high ground a lot. That's very improved since the first couple reviews that we've done, but I want you to understand why and where and how where you can hold changes based on where your teammates are threatening the other team from. Okay. I just assumed there was some kind of support there. I see that coming. It would be okay if she turned around and went back up top. I don't remember when. Sorry, Bryce. I'll give it a higher priority. So ultim. Oh, missing 200 HP because it's the last 13 seconds. Yeah. So ult's a very important part of ladder. It's very underrated. Sometimes in 6v3, you solo shatter the baby diva. It's not about winning the game. It's about sending the message. No. I mean, there is something to be said for, yes, there is something to be said for you can intentionally tilt opponents, but I'm usually not coaching you guys to do that.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
All systems
Mostly because I'm trying to coach you guys for something that's more reliable as a way of winning.
I'm looking forward to working with you all.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. My will made real.
APM 좀 올려볼까?
I mean, I could go into it, but you can get into specific stuff of tilting opponents where you can start doing some stuff where you specifically pick on a specific opponent to tilt them a bit. You can get into some stuff where you do some, hey, we're winning hard, but I'm going to, we're winning this fight hard, but you look like you're about to get an elimination. That might spark some, resilience, spark some still being in the match. So we're going to ult you to take you down, even though it's not right, because we're winning this fight like, 5v2, but you're about to get an elimination and we're the 5, and you guys haven't had an elimination in the last 2 minutes, so I'm going to use an ult to deny you getting that elimination. Is that technically correct? No, but it sort of becomes a, hey, we're going to tilt you type thing, etc. Or stuff where it's like you intentionally let them get off their big EMP, like in the old world, you let them get off their big EMP nanoblade combo, blah, 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 and then old school Mercy flies in and mass reses. And it's like, we could have denied you from getting the combo, but we're doing it just to make you feel more defeated, etc. Like there's stuff like that you can do that gets a little more into it. I'm not going to go more than that here because it's not applicable to this match, but there's things like that you can do.
Need healing. My ultimate is charging.
Taking off.
This is fine. Keep him here. Your Winston's going the other way. Don't waste all your DM. Oh boy, did your junk just go in? Yeah. So you need to push. So your Winston and Junk just went in. You can't still be here. Your Junkrat just mined himself in, which probably means he's gone, except that now we see your Winston too. So this is a time where you go, hey, I am pushing in. Like, I am pushing in, I'm committing micros, maybe I'm committing boosters, we're trying to do something with this. I don't know who they're on, but it looks like maybe Wildflowers that the Moira? No, that is... Who is that over there? Oh, Wild Wolf? Wild Wolf is the McCree. Yeah, that's a fine dive target. You can go join your Winston on that. You could go boost at it. You could eat the flash that it tries to protect itself with. No. This is, your team is pushing. This is, you needed to be in there. There's that flash that we could have eaten that took down our Junkrat. Okay, works for me. Okay. Good eat, good eat. I don't know if that was intentional, but you ate the mine. Don't let her farm mech off of you. DM this or close the angle. No, she's farming mech off of you. Don't let her do it. Your Winston just went in. You need to look what he's doing to see if you need to join him. Fine. You ate the mine. Fine. I don't know about this booster, but I'll live. Pressure on the Rhine is fine. You're at close range. No. You did not need to self-destruct there at all. This is a low health Reinhardt. You guys have the coalescence going, not him. He's in your face where you do maximum damage. Sure, he's hurting you too, but look at your health. You're totally fine. You're totally fine. You're going to have him down in 1 second. Literally in 1 second, he's going to be down. And you just self-destructed with a 450 HP mech that was actually about to get beated, which it also didn't need. Yeah. That was on purpose and I was so happy. Okay, nice. Nice. Very good. The second one, yeah.
Time to raise my DVA.
Objective A.
Defense matrix activated.
Escort the payload.
Group up with me. Routing power to forward shield.
I should say it blah, but I've got higher priorities with his just willy-nilly use of boosters and wanting to fix some of his defense matrix stuff. But yes, ult usage is otherwise on the list. Why aren't we eating that? Just swipe it across. Yay! Little slow, but yay. Little slow to pull out the defense matrix and then a little too much defense matrix used, but it's progress. Good. Okay. We're stuck in this fight with this diva because we used boosters, whether we want it or not. Did you just properly duel diva? We're doing this. She caved and used those first. No, you don't want a defense matrix or defense matrix. What you want a defense matrix is... Okay, so this is how your diva matchup works. You see her and you start shooting at her first. Good. Your shooting at her first is going to cause one of two reactions. Either she is going to cave and defense matrix, or she is going to cave and micromissile. Either one is a win for you. This is defense matrix. That's totally fine. You just keep holding down left click because it doesn't cost you anything. You don't defense matrix. You just keep holding down left click because it doesn't cost you anything. You do not defense matrix. The only thing that you defense matrix in the diva duel is when she uses micro missiles. Nothing else we have to defense matrix. So we just keep holding down her on left click. Her defense matrixing doesn't matter. The only time we'd consider defense matrixing when her defense matrix is up is if she's defense matrixing and micromissiling us at the same time. So no DM here. But you drop your DM first to shoot at her again. So good reaction to good judgment. Even if you made the mental mistake, you're back in it. Now you defense matrix.
Time.
Perfect. And you can actually throw your own micro at this point because you want to get the uptime usage where you know she's drained like 3/4 of her defense matrix. This is her last tick, by the way. And you are currently putting up your DM to eat her micro missiles, and you can shoot your micro missiles now. So you can micro missiles now, or you can micro missiles in half a second when this is over. So now you should be able to micro missile. Micro missile. Micro missile.
No.
Yes! That's fine. No, no, no. No, we don't DM this. Stay on her. Perfect. You don't need to run from this. You need to know when her mech blows up, how she shows up. Okay. She's always going to show up right here. Like, this is always the first place that she's sort of going to go through. So, like, you want to be pre-aiming here and shooting here because you want to get your initial damage as she pops out of the mech. Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. Let's go back to this. So you're shooting too much in the middle, and then you're not shooting when she actually pops out. I know, like, she sort of appeared here for a second, but that's not real. This is where she always appears. Whether she's going left, right, back, up, doesn't matter. She's always going to have frames right here that you can have your cursor over and get some damage in on her. But you still want that leading damage because now she's got to worry about running around and finding health, because if she doesn't go get health because you did 50 damage to her, etc., she might just go down to a single bit of spam, be that a Junkrat nade, some Lucio spam, a Winston landing on her, etc. Like, that can really slow down her getting her mech back. Okay. Like, that could have been the difference there between you taking her down, her and the McCree down, or just taking her down if she'd been missing the 50 health there. In this case, you got both of them, but hey. Just know you're at 67 health. Do not open the angle. Don't do it. Don't do it. Fine. Okay, so good stuff. Let's go here for a second. Here's our D.Va matchup. So the things that I want you to work on, I guess I'll keep DM on the back burner because it's so hard to work on, but it is there and it can't go away. You need to change your booster usage. You do too much random boosting just to get to places faster when it's not critical that you get there faster. So, like, you can't just be going, oh, boost willy-nilly, etc. Like, you can boost back from spawn, sure. You can boost when you're going to have plenty of time to get your boosters back and you know it, but you're doing too much boost for movement in combat that's not really important, or in late poke phase that's not really important, like boosting up to right behind your Rhine shield, boosting up to go fight something that, like, okay, your team's already 3v1ing it, you don't need to be there right now, and that takes away options, and those options matter for you. Your booster should mostly be to get to high ground, to get back to something that you need to peel. So maybe that's boosting back to your back line to eat a pulse bomb. Maybe that's boosting forward to eat someone that got hooked by hog, etc. Like, those are things that your booster can get used for. Maybe that's boosting up to challenge high ground because you need to push back a hit scan on high ground, a Junkrat on high ground, something, etc. Because otherwise it's just going to rain down on your team. That's all fine, but you're doing just too much general I want to move, I want to go fast boosting. And no, that's going to come back to bite you if you don't fix it. Then we will go into your ults because you're doing 1v3, 1v5 ults, and I don't care that you had your 1v5 ult that you went +3 on. They're not right. And even though you went +3 on it, it didn't really change how things were going, etc. So please don't do those. Please ult in even or close to even fights. And also you want, with Devo, want to be aware of what thing can possibly happen if you ult. Like you want to be aware of, can I ult now, or is that going to let the Zarya throw a grav? Can I ult now, or is that going to let the hog through a hook, etc.? So you want to be a little more aware of, can I ult now, or is that going to get a dragon strike out of the Hanzo, etc.? So you sort of want to do it when those things are on cooldown, or when those people are in places that they can't do it, etc., or when they know you don't have any DM, all that jazz. But that's how I want you to think about your ults. And then the third thing I'm going to give you is we still got to keep working on this DM usage. You got that one Junkrat set in mind of intentionally, and that was good, but we want to continue going, hey, I'm aware of the Junkrat Mine. I'm aware of the Flashbang. I'm aware of the Holt. I'm aware of the Storm Arrow. I'm aware of using my DM in this specific matchups. And this was good. You used it correctly mostly in this specific Diva matchup. And now we're just going to graduate that out to every other matchup, like the McCree matchup we saw, like the Junkrat matchup we saw, where you're going, hey, I want to do this. He's going to want to mine me when he wants to leave. So later in the fight is when I'm going to have my DM over him, and I'm going to micro missile to deny him the ability to leave in a fight, etc. Things like that. So work through your sort of matchups one at a time and go, what do I do? And then you'll zoom out from there to using their abilities in team fights, and then you'll zoom out to ults, etc. Hope that makes sense. Do you have any questions here, Game Buster? Let's take a look. Baby Tifa 1v1, never mind Moira. Your aim is fine. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help me out quite a bit. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, events we have going on, etc. Boosters to punish, is that more acceptable? Depends exactly what you mean by punish, but yes, it's generally going to be fine to go, hey, this person is, did something silly in our backline. Is that really a booster to punish, or is that a booster to peel, etc.? But you'll get the punish regardless. Or, hey, someone is trying to hold high ground and they don't have enough health to do it. Is that a booster to challenge high ground, or is that a booster to punish, etc.? So it's going to depend exactly what you mean by punish. Lots of feedback, good stuff. This makes 10 Diva reviews. Nice. We're getting up there. That's good. She's a somewhat non-intuitive hero, so I'm glad that we've got a decent library of reviews for people. I was actually going to take a break, Bryce. I'll probably do more reviews this evening. I might even do more reviews in a couple hours, but I was going to take a little bit more of I was going to take a little bit of a break now and, do some other stuff, maybe get some other work done, etc. So I think that's going to be it for now. I think that does it. So once again, like and subscribe really does help. If you guys are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, all that good stuff. And that's going to do it. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.